What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Austin Lewis here, coming to you guys, as you know, with my partner in crime, Mr. Austin Zaback. Welcome back to the A&A Show. As you guys saw in the title as well as the thumbnail, we have an incredible guest, as the name of Christina Laguna, a.k.a.
Come on now.
The Clout God. What? AZ, baby. You guys already know. First of all, welcome back to an A&A Show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I want to say, make sure and like the video and subscribe, but Mr. Zaback says that in a later time in the video, which we'll go ahead and we'll just dive right into it. Christina, welcome to the A&A Show.
Thank you for being here.
I'm so excited to be here.
Beautiful.
We're going to have a ton of fun.
I love it. This is going to be a blast. So, what do you, okay, like, let's just my first impression of Christina. Okay, first of all, I mean, one, you gave us a pen. Okay, so first of all, I know you're a attorney.
Yep.
Right?
I'm
okay.
not. I have to be clear on
You're
that.
not. You're not an attorney.
Okay.
Not an attorney. Okay.
Okay, you're just a face.
Yes.
You just own this place.
Correct.
Great.
Well,
so you
sorta.
Sorta. Okay.
Okay.
Some sort of involvement in this. How do you say that?
So it's KLG, not ALG or ELG.
Got it.
KLG Law Group PLC.
Yeah.
This reminds me of Lerner and Rowe.
Except we are the way to go.
There you go.
That's
like
good.
That.
That's why they did that.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
What I think about Christina, right? We both follow her on Instagram. Been following each other for quite some time. You know, just through the. Honestly, that's what I think of Christina when I first think of her. Is just like, oh my gosh, she's a marketing.
She's a master networker.
Master networker.
Master networker.
Everybody knows her.
Yep.
Everybody wants to come to her events or her things and be a part of what she's doing because she just brings around incredible people.
She's a networker.
Yep. Which is a masterpiece.
Which is cool.
Dude.
Which is great.
Which is
you have to have. You know what I mean?
100%.
And you don't see very many women doing that. You know. Not even men, really. I guess
not
actually
even
not
men.
even anybody.
No.
Men have a bigger ego than women.
Yeah.
Way bigger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I mean, she's the only person I think I know. Okay. There's a couple of, guys that I met in high school that could probably throw a bigger party than her, but they were once.
Different kind of party.
Different kind of party.
Trained them.
Yeah.
But
right.
yeah, sure. But
they're playing beer pong.
I agree.
She's got a Ferrari on top of the pool.
But she, 2 days before the event, could just post about something. She'll have 600 people there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Master networker.
Which is literally massively insane. So, Christina, let's just dive into the show with you. Let's just get right to the nuts and bolts. What do you do for a living, and how do you do it?
Well, first of all, before we do that, I'm just so proud of the two of you. And if you remember, I asked you to come to a podcast I was going to do to highlight you, but I got so busy.
Yes.
And now I'm at your podcast.
Yeah.
You do remember that, right?
We do? Oh, yeah.
So I'm just so proud of you guys.
Thank you. We appreciate
that. What I do, that's kind of hard to describe since I literally don't work at all. I don't. I get to do what I love every day. Of course, I have to make income for my, family and kids, but I get to help people along the way.
Okay.
So, primarily, I do the law firm. I help with the KLG office. Our area of practice is car accidents.
Okay.
I do have a couple other things on the side, like Beyond Agency, which is a marketing and referral solutions. And then, of course, City Vodka.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is your newest thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were so talk to us about that. How does that all look and feel? City Vodka, you know what I mean?
So we were just talking about it. We started this a year ago. We announced it December last year as a dream. And partnered up, Kevin, a.k.a. Shooter, and Wes CEO, Wes. And we claimed that, announced it in December, and we just went for it, right? And then COVID happened.
Yep.
So we were living through that, but I can tell you nothing stopped us. We're everywhere.
That's cool.
Interesting. So real question for you.
Yeah.
Have you tried City Vodka yet?
I haven't, but
Okay.
we were going to go to the party.
Yeah, yep.
That was the whiteout party.
That was the whiteout
Right?
party.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I was literally like, because I texted you.
Yep.
I was like, hey, let's go to the party
Yep.
of Christina's, right? And then I can't remember what happened, like time, you know how 2020's
yeah,
been.
for sure,
And
yeah.
all of a sudden it was the night of the
Yeah,
party.
night
I was
of
like,
the party,
fuck, I
yeah,
missed it.
yeah.
And then I saw everybody's story.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, there's a bunch of people there.
Bunch of
Like
people.
everybody was white. I guess all J-Dang. I think J-Dang was there. He was all whited out,
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to thinking right now, actually.
Yeah,
I could,
you're
change
whited
my
out.
black
Yeah.
shirt. I'd be ready to rock
You'd
and
be
roll.
ready to rock
Same
and
with
roll.
you know what I mean?
Exactly. No.
But I've never tried it.
Insane, too.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of what's that one vodka? Effin.
Effin.
Reminds me
Vodka.
of Effin. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why.
We actually did a blind test.
Okay.
We should do it here with your team.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when we did it with 30 people, every time it came next to Tito's.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But so this vodka is homegrown.
Okay.
So be proud of that.
Yeah.
And
Amazing.
it's city because I fucking love Arizona.
Yeah.
It's made out of corn, distilled 15 times, filtered 6 times instead of 4.
Wow.
Okay.
Like what
Which
you
is Tito's.
find.
Yeah.
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 So the price point, though, that's the whole goal about it, is
Okay.
that it's premium vodka but at a lower price.
Okay.
Got it. Interesting.
So-
So how does one get into? I mean, this might be a little off topic, but how in the world? Because I mean, we're potentially
Avid drinkers.
I was gonna. There's a couple terminologies we could throw around.
Yeah, for sure.
But we enjoy
Alcoholics,
we when it's not when it's not Christmas season, right? We typically have this little
wooden thing with a bunch
wood
of
thing,
scotch.
and we got our scotch on here. We're whiskey guys. We like whiskey. We like smoking cigars.
Sure.
You know
So
what I mean?
if you want to be a sponsor,
Yeah.
if you want to be a sponsor, we'll put your bottle up here.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So
All day.
my question is, we've talked about it, like getting into like you see Conor McGregor, you see Dwayne
Proper
Johnson, right?
12.
Proper 12. What
tequila.
Dwayne Johnson's got the tequila.
Yeah.
How does one get into that industry? I mean, what does that even look and feel like?
So the first thing I want to say to that is do it.
Okay.
And I'll be right there. I don't care if it's another vodka. I will support you. There's
Yeah.
enough
Yeah.
people here, enough work to go around, enough just people.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect to get into this. This was just an opportunity for me to believe in someone who approached me, and blindly, because of energy, I said, "What do you need?"
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
A good human being. And then obviously my boyfriend Shooter wanted to get in on it as well, but it wasn't something planned. It was someone
Interesting.
approaching me and saying, "Hey, I need an investor."
Yeah.
How
That's
far
it.
along were they in the process when they approached you? Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, was it just an idea, or did they already have kind of a?
No, so I tried to be smart with my money because I work hard.
Yeah.
And so this gentleman already had a previous brand, so I knew he knew what he was doing. And sometimes believing or helping someone doesn't always mean money. It means believing in them. And this one is like a perfect example
Yeah.
because, I mean, so it's a perfect combo. There's 3 of us. So Kevin, you know him, Shooter. If I mention him 100 times, you know why.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's a stud. He's a stud.
Yeah. So
That-
yeah, you need to do your own thing with
Yeah.
him. Anyways, so he's sort of the analytical aspect of the branding, brand identity he
the
created.
implementer.
Yeah, the entire logo,
You're the visionary.
the concept,
Yep.
like just down to every detail, whatever flyer, whatever logo, whatever banner. The production side and like the warehouse aspect and just producing this thing is my other partner, which is Wes.
Yeah.
And then I bring in the aspect of marketing and networking and bringing people together
Yep.
and hopefully you seeing it as a well drink everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like a perfect
Combination. Yeah.
You
Interesting.
can't deny
Which
it.
makes all the sense in the world. Have you
Yeah.
read the book like Rocket Fuel or like what's the other one? There's Rocket Fuel and then there's he wrote 2
Traction?
books. Traction, yeah. Rocket Fuel and Traction. Anyways, basically this guy Gary Wicks, I think is the author, and he talks about
W-I-X?
I think or it might be W-I-C-K-S.
C-K-S. Yeah. Wix. Yeah.
I think
it's Wix.
Does
Yeah.
that
I
sound
think
right?
it's W-I-C-K-S. Yeah.
Anyways, he talks about
trying to picture the book.
Yeah, the integrator, the visionary, and the different roles in a business. And we talk about that a lot, right? Where you
Yeah.
have different people that are good at different things. Well, Josh Snow and Anthony are a really good example about that. When we interviewed them, they would talk about how Josh is more of the visionary, kind of like you, right? Where he's more of the frontward facing brand, whatever.
Brand,
and then on the back
face.
end, Anthony's more analytical, integrator, logo design, just all the nitty gritty, right?
Implementing.
And it's so crucial in any business to have the different people that can do the different roles.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's kind of cool for all of our listeners, obviously, listening, because that applies to any business. It applies to, doesn't matter whether you're in real estate or insurance or you have a physical product or you're Shopify, Amazon FBA, Walmart Automation, anything, right?
Yeah.
This is very, very crucial. So that's really cool. Well, congratulations on
Seriously.
your success so far. So you're a year into that now, right?
Yep.
Okay.
That
Very
and,
interesting.
and you're already in every
liquor store.
liquor store.
Wow.
Yeah.
God.
So
And now
How tough was that? I mean, just walk me
Like,
through
what's-
that.
what-
I mean,
yeah, I mean, geez. Now I got a question for you, real quick, too. We just start. Okay, this might be a question more for us, but people listening are probably wondering the same thing. Okay, there's got to be a lot of licensing and stuff like that goes into creating a liquor and a bottle. Like I'm sure you probably don't have somebody that I think the person that makes the liquor is probably different than the person that makes the bottle. I would assume, right? Am I wrong? Yeah.
No, you're correct.
And then you got to bring this alcohol somehow to the bottle, and then the bottle and the alcohol go together, and you package it up, and then I drink it, and then I die or something like that, right? But
or you just feel like 100 million.
or you feel like, which you for sure feel like 100 million, but
Yeah.
like, what is the process of the, facilitation. What am I trying to say?
Now you're messing me up.
So yeah, we have a warehouse right next to
Okay.
Pepsi in Phoenix.
Okay.
And you're absolutely correct. It is an
And-
entire process.
Okay, so your warehouse in Tempe?
Yeah, like
Phoenix.
It's
Oh,
the
Phoenix.
address is
Okay.
Phoenix. It's by the airport.
Okay, cool.
So wherever Pepsi is, it's right next to it.
And
Oh,
what's
okay.
what's that warehouse consist of? Like, how many employees do you have? Like, I don't know. I just think of like,
Yeah.
like I don't even know.
So funny you should ask. We're in the process of looking for a bigger warehouse now
Okay.
because of the orders coming in. And then we haven't tapped. I mean, obviously we'd love to get into Bevmo and Total Wine. And if you know me at all, you know that's going to happen.
Of course.
And Wes is the same way. And we're trying to get into that. Shooter's doing his best. But yeah, so it's an actual warehouse with, and this thing is so great because it's like handcrafted.
Yeah.
It's handcrafted, y'all.
Yeah.
It is like really a whole process of distilling it, bottling it, putting that label on there, putting the cap on there, all right here in Arizona.
Wow.
That's insane.
And you built that from the ground up. Or were you and your partners, obviously?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you
Wow.
find people for that?
Yeah, like, well, I'm
Like,
so curious about, like,
How many employees does your warehouse have? I'm
right
coming in
now
this.
we
I have
all-
no idea what's going
Yeah,
on, right?
no, it's a good question. And
I mean, I think just
basically-
two of him sitting at home, us cooking up some fucking
on top of our stove.
on top of our stove, just
Like-
cooking up some alcohol, and him just putting in a little bit of the seasoning here, a little bit of this, you know,
Little seasoning.
little distilling it, going like this, and like all of a sudden we just get this bottle from somebody, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden
yeah,
he's
yeah.
got like the little filters that you
Yep.
have, which him and I have never cooked in our day in our life. And if we do cook it, it'd probably be on fire. But and then he just pours it out of the
Right.
canner into the the bottle, and then we just cap
So
it up.
it's that on a bigger scale.
You guys crack me up. And by the way, you're gonna cook, and we're gonna do it in front of cameras.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
it.
We're
I like
doing
it.
that. Just
Well,
mark-
hey,
mark
cameras
that.
don't bother me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I-
we're doing.
you can film me
we'll
taking
bring
a
in
bath, you know what I mean?
We'll bring
Yeah.
in a chef.
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe he'll induce it. I'm
Okay.
just kidding.
Yeah.
I like
for
it.
sure.
I like
Like-
chefs.
Infuse it.
Yeah.
No, so it's a valid question, and yeah, there's machinery, obviously.
Of course.
But we're on the ground right now, so it's like boots on the ground, like just hardcore work. And so there's 10 employees.
Every day we hustle.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, so
10 employees.
yeah, and like handcrafted means they're freaking putting
Yeah.
that label on that damn bottle.
Yeah.
But with everyone's help, eventually we should be able to facilitate like an actual machine that
Right,
will
right.
do that for us.
Yeah.
Invest
So
invest
that's how
into that.
low on the ground we are right now.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm freaking proud of that because anyone listening, whatever dream you have, make it happen.
Make it happen.
Yep.
Don't live in your fear.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's one question I have just real
Okay,
quick.
Sorry.
About
My
and
mind's
this is
just
just
a little-
I know, yeah, this is just off topic. Not really, but you asked it. But
Okay.
like, what is the when I think of, because we've talked a lot about like we've owned 10 or 12 companies, all over the board, right? What we haven't done yet is create any sort of tangible or physical product, right? We've done a lot of online services. We've had a lot of real estate, ATM business. I mean, we've done a lot of that, but
Exotic
we've never
car, the
created
company, golf carts.
a glass or a thing. Like we've never created anything tangible, right? When I look at, you watch like Shark Tank and stuff like that, you think of patents and you think of, like you kind of mentioned it, right? Like licensing and stuff like that. I mean, what is that all? Is it really difficult or?
So we're kind of spoiled in this specific project because, like I said before, Wes already had a product prior, so he knew exactly what to do.
Okay.
And there is licensing and there is all kinds of paperwork, and it takes months.
Yeah.
And that's why it was kind of a no-brainer. Other than him being an amazing person that I wanted to support, he already knew what to do.
Yeah.
So the combining all three of us, it's like powerful. And we
Wow.
already have two other brands we're thinking of already.
Yeah.
And then remember, it's branded as city, so this
Right.
can go any city.
Any city.
And
Yeah.
we're targeting Vegas soon.
For sure.
Wow.
How much does, if you don't mind me asking, how much does something like that, like the startup cost? Okay, somebody's viewing right now, watching, being like, yo, I want to be the next clout god AZ.
Yeah.
But I want to be the next clout god FL, aka
yep.
Florida. Okay, and they're like, yo, I want to go ahead and start a City Vodka, right? What is a startup cost of something like that?
I would say with everyone's like conservative effort, 100,000
100K.
would be like where you can propel yourself to actually.
And that's just bare minimum get
Bare
started.
minimum.
Like,
Bare
you
That's
know.
probably with
Bare.
almost any tangible
like,
product.
Yeah.
bare.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bare
So like, do
minimum.
you have like how many bottles does that get you? Like, is there?
That's probably not even bottles. That's just getting everything all dialed.
And so I think that I want to touch on the fact that Kevin being on board, he will drill down and look for the freaking best bottle and most inexpensive. That's just how any business needs to be. Like, you need really need to be strategic. And so, like, down to every detail, the caps, I mean, on a grander scale, like 10 cents makes a difference.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sure,
Huge.
You know, it's like a whole vantage point. It's not like you're looking just from this view. It's
We're in the
up
pennies
here.
business.
So you guys know.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That's crazy, man. I mean, Max Tuning talks about how it costs him like $50,000.
Yeah, to start sour strips.
just to get everything, ready. You know, for he owns a candy company.
Yeah, without inventory.
No inventory, nothing like that. So, 50, 100, 150, depending on the product, is, maybe 200, 250 grand.
Yeah.
Right. So,
but alcohol's, I mean, well vodka, that's up there too.
Yeah.
Like that makes sense why it's a minimum of 100K. And, for the first probably little while, depending on how good you are at marketing and who you are essentially, right? Like you have 10 employees, like you got to pay, I mean, even if you just, paid minimum wage, I think that's like 30 grand a month just in 10 employees, roughly.
Oh, it
right?
adds up.
Yeah.
Sure.
So to get and to sell, how much do these bottles go for?
You're going to be so happy when you find out how much. So how much is Tito's?
What is a regular? Well, first
Chris,
of all, hold
how
on.
much is Tito's?
First of all, what is your standard ounce bottle of alcohol?
Fifth?
So there's 3 sizes.
Okay.
And I can't remember the baby one, but I think it's 750.
What's
That's
like your
pint? That's a pint. 750 is a pint.
So, and then there's a restaurant one only for restaurants.
Okay. And then there's a fifth.
This is standard right here.
Fifth, I think, is 30. I think last time I bought Tito's is like
750 milliliter.
$36.
Yeah, so we definitely have that.
Okay, that's not a pint.
750. This is like your standard bottle of alcohol, I think.
Right.
Yeah,
750 milliliters.
that's a pint. Or I mean a liter. That's a liter. Isn't
And
it?
then we have
or no,
that-
I don't know.
Or not a liter. That's
And
a
then
fifth.
we have
Excuse
the
me, fifth.
tiny baby one.
Why is that bottle sticky? I just would love to know what these
Fifth.
cats do for a living.
I know, me too. Tito's is like $36 for a fifth.
So ours is $8.99.
No way.
Really?
Wow.
So I mean, think about your market and your demographics, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Fraternities.
Yeah.
Carvana wanting to throw a big house party for everybody.
Yeah.
Jungle Juice.
Uh-huh.
But it's designed that way for a reason.
Okay.
Because we're just trying to capitalize on that, where you could enjoy a good vodka and not have to,
Pay insane.
a whole lot.
Yeah.
I mean, vodka started out of a garage. I don't know if you've ever looked them up.
No.
We started out of an actual warehouse, distillery. So we feel pretty good about that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Interesting.
and look how much they sold for eventually.
Yeah.
Right.
So why wouldn't you want to charge more than $8.99? Just out of curiosity. I mean,
could.
clearly you're trying to. Well, obviously.
Yeah.
But you're trying to attack the. I want to say like maybe like younger demographic or like the barrier to entry vodkas. You know what I mean? But I got a question for you, and I'm just gonna be straight up honest with you. Okay.
Yeah.
If I just saw City Vodka for $8.99 in Total Wine, I wouldn't buy it.
That's correct.
Because it's $8.99.
Right.
I hate to be that dude.
Psychology.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
for
true.
sure. But the next
I'm gonna
guy,
buy. I'm
there's
gonna
a guy
buy a
out there that's the
$23
polar
vodka.
opposite of you.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a guy out there that ain't gonna buy the $23 one, and he's gonna buy the $8
one.
And unfortunately, or fortunately,
Yeah.
there's more people like that than there are like
Then
you.
they are like us. Yeah.
You know what
Well,
I mean?
and
Okay.
the psychology behind that too.
Okay.
The psychology behind that, and that's where the marketing power comes in, because that is the normal.
Yeah.
You're gonna look at that, and not to mention they requested plastic bottle.
Right.
So the fact that it's already in a hotel, a couple restaurants, like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Right? But it's that way for a reason. We have 2 other brands we're trying to develop eventually, bottles, beautiful bottles. But honestly, it's that. It's just to show that we can get this done. And, I'm sorry, but not everyone can afford that.
Yeah.
If you're throwing a party for 1,000 people, of course not now with COVID.
Yeah.
But if you were,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you want to save some money?
Yeah.
Sure.
And the cost, like what we make, it's still there. So we're not greedy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Is there eventually going to be like, have you thought about the future of like, okay, eventually we're going to have multiple different types of alcohol. We're going to eventually have, we're eventually going to raise our price or lower our price, or we're going to, is there a level 2, 3, 4 in your opinion, or are you just going to double down on what you're doing and see where it goes?
So focus is power. And I'm trying to focus even for myself personally. I even wanted like a flavored one, but then that gets sticky, You see what I
Sure,
mean?
sure.
There's just so many elements to this. But we did want like a sort of like an exclusive brand. So we wanted to really test the market and see how much we can control it. Like, let's be the difference. Like, let's see, what can we do? And I mean, honestly, when you go to a liquor store and right away they're shut off already. They're just like, oh, we have enough brands in here. Like, and then they find out the cost and right away they're like, what?
Yeah.
And then it's flying the fuck off the shelves.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Got it.
I mean, the orders are like, oh, let me have another 100,000 cases.
Right.
Like, what?
Yeah. You're like,
So-
what? Who even orders that much?
Yeah. Sam's
You know what I mean?
liquor store. Thank
Yeah,
you.
for sure. Wow. That's crazy. I mean, I love it, dude. I love the entrepreneurship, the tenacity it takes to grow a business. You know, we know, right? People watching and listening know it ain't easy. You know what I mean? It ain't easy. It ain't sunshine and rainbows. I'll tell you that much. You know, every day's a grind, bro. You know, every little thing, right? Every little detail. You know, so I obviously, you know, super cool to hear that you're doing it, right? And we're gonna have to do it soon. So you should think about bringing us on as a you be the mentor, we'll be the mentee.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We'll leverage your guys' facility. You guys can take a percentage, like Christian Guzman with his he's shipping out Max Tuning's products and everybody else's products. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's where you guys can make money long term, right?
Yeah.
Is potentially is, you know, bring on other people that want to start
10% of their shit.
Yeah, take 10 or 20% of theirs.
It's endless what
Right.
we can do. The license we got allows us to do bottle tasting, like brand tasting events. You can sell it right off the facility.
Wow.
And I know, like, for your listeners, I know you do the show to inspire other people to go after whatever it is. So whatever that is, if you focus enough on it and just take that risk, you can do it.
You can do it.
So, I mean,
love it.
talk about like fundraising, right? And so that's the biggest thing for me. It's just that I talk about this a lot. This life that we have, you, me, it's temporary. We're just here for a short time, right? So I want my shit to count.
Yep.
And I no longer care how long I live. I used to freaking like worry about that. I just want to worry about how I live it. Right, because in an instant, shit can change.
We say we're here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah,
Typically when I've been drinking a lot.
Yeah, quite.
But it's true.
It's right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So we want to make that count. Your show, it's reaching people, right? All the way in the Philippines, by the way.
Yeah.
I have friends there.
Oof.
Mabuhay.
Yeah. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, and they are. You're reaching them, and that's why I said I was proud of you guys.
Yeah.
So you know, people live in doubt, and this show allows people to say like, hey, you know what? You have a dream. I don't care where you are status-wise. Just go for it.
Yeah.
And so the fundraising aspect of this, too, is because of that vodka being at that price point, we're able to go in there and say, hey, like, let me help you raise some money, right? And it yields crazy results. Like, and that's the part I live for.
Yeah.
Of course, I have 3 daughters that are amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
Of course.
But you think about a tree, right? This tree right here.
A beautiful tree, by the way.
Yeah. We decorated ourselves.
Yep.
So I want my branch of my tree to be pretty, and I want that to be generational and like leave, you know, just a legacy for them.
Of course.
And so you wouldn't think alcohol of all things could do that, but like just for this year alone, we've helped raise so many different organizations, you know, anywhere from 20 to 60 grand just by helping them out.
Yeah. Which is
so cool.
So is your are you looking to, at this price point, you guys have only been here for a year. I guess it makes sense, right? You're coming into a marketplace, which is not I wouldn't want to say it's tough, but it's tough at the same time, right? You got great brands like Tito's. Okay. We actually just met a little while ago. We went to a charity, Starry Foundation put on a charity. One of my boys was live painting there, and we met I think he was the COO or something like that of Tito's. And he was like a big Larry Fitzgerald fan, and this guy was painting a Larry Fitzgerald painting, and I got the chance to talk to him, but unfortunately I was so drunk I don't even remember the entire situation. But you have like phenomenal vodkas out there, right? We just mentioned Effin before the show or earlier in the show.
I love Effin.
Yeah.
Effin is phenomenal.
Especially in a martini. Cucumber.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, you know, is your plan? I guess it makes sense, right? Start barrier entry, $8.99. Of course, it's gonna be flying off the shelves. Now, once people realize and like this stuff, right? over the next 5 years, they're going to be raising their price from $8.99 to $10.99 to $14.99 to $12.99. Is that your guys' plan, or like you guys are just good at $8.99 right now?
No, I'm sure it'll go up a little bit, but we really want to cater to a different demographics with that brand.
For sure.
So maybe eventually there's more brands.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
We are working on a couple more already.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
you know, I mean, and for you,
we want to start a whiskey.
No, you.
I think
whiskey for sure.
Yeah. We drink a lot of whiskey.
Yeah. Shooters are very, very, very picky.
Whiskey's got to be a little more complicated though because it's got to age.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So I imagine that adds a whole new element.
I feel like with you guys, you'll send yours in a boat somewhere so that the different, weather will age it differently.
For sure.
Interesting.
I got that from Kevin.
Yeah.
So you got to...
Just the weather changes it, that salt factor.
Because a lot of times they put these whiskey in big barrels. They store them for a long period of time.
Yeah. So is that the process? So like if we want to start a whiskey company, we should probably start now rather than because in 10 years we can sell it as a 10-year-old
Well, I think
bottle?
I think you can buy it like wholesale and then add your potentially, right?
There is just I think that if you are serious about that, you should. The time is like right now.
Yeah, look into it. Well, because Conor McGregor started Proper 12.
Yeah.
And he didn't. It's not like he started that 12 years ago.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know what I mean?
I mean, plus you have access to the branding genius.
Right.
I mean, Kevin's working on. I cannot say who it is, but it's a big boxer.
Yeah.
And he's working on like a cigar.
Wow.
And like some other stuff for him.
Yeah.
So yin
and cigars are cigars make sense too.
Cigars would be good.
Yeah.
There's a lot, dude. I've thought a lot about it lately.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more physical products out there that you can make it.
Oh, for sure. And cigars are kind of cool too because like they are aged as well,
right?
And they're like from different parts of the world, which like that part fascinates me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like you literally get a Cuban from Cuba.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
which just recently became legal.
Yeah, legal.
Peruvian.
Yeah.
That's right.
Which is nuts.
So I'd like to dive just real quick. What do you think, Lou? We dive in so how did let's just peel back the onion just a little bit, right? I mean, talk to the listeners, the viewers. How did you have a really positive, optimistic outlook, right? And
great energy,
great networker. You're in business, but look, if I've learned one thing, it's that every entrepreneur, every successful person on any level, they've been through some shit, right? Plain and simple. You know what I mean? So,
Be grateful for those things.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? And that's how we learn as human beings. We go through shit, we fail forward, right? And then eventually you get to sit here and your test is your testimony. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, what I mean, growing up, was it a normal household you were growing up in? What did that look like? What was school? I mean, just like the quick little rundown of kind of who you were growing up and how you got to where you're at.
So the world is massive. Like, I think that's the biggest message is there's so much life in the world around us. So I was born in the Philippines, and my parents, my mom, who passed away a couple of years ago, you see me rant about that a lot. I haven't grieved about that, and I have the worst coping mechanism. So that's something I'm trying to work through. But she was a prolific traveler. She was an entrepreneur. She had an agency, travel agency. She spoke in front of thousands of people, traveled all the time. So as an immigrant, I'm from the Philippines. I'm a quarter Italian based on the blood-wise, but I'm from the Philippines. I was born there, and we had what's called an immigrant card. So you could not leave. So you would have to go to the United States, get a stamp, make sure you were here, and you can't leave for more than 6 months without getting a stamp. Otherwise, they'll revoke it. So I did get to travel a lot because the Philippines is close to Japan. So we'd go to Japan, then go to Guam. So Guam, obviously, is a territory, so we get a stamp there. Or we'll go to Japan, then LA, get a stamp, go home. So that was kind of fun. My dad wasn't in the picture. So that does play a big part.
Yeah.
Believe me, it does. Yeah. And then I think I was 13, and I was in LA. I was supposed to live in LA. My parents got divorced, and then they shipped me to Arizona. Wow. Arizona, and I would see
at 13.
Yes, and I would see these cactus, and I'm
you're like, what's that?
Am I going to the cowboy town? I had no idea.
Yeah.
So, but it was probably the best thing for me.
Well, who did you live with at 13 years old in Arizona?
My aunt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my aunt. And because we were supposed to live in LA with my dad. He's an accountant. And then at the airport, he decided to serve my mother papers.
Oh.
At the airport.
Yeah.
So, yeah, talk about craziness.
Yeah.
And then we drove from LA to Tucson, of all places. So it wasn't, talk about like unexpected stuff. And I left so much behind too, because, I was a hip hop dancer. I loved that. And it was just like at that time, 13 years old, you're really just developing yourself. And then I ended up in Tucson, and I ended up just making that town mine. And I just owned it, and I loved it. And I got into every dance competition there was. If I wanted to go to an LL Cool J concert, I would dance and battle people to get in because I couldn't afford a ticket.
Yeah.
And then eventually I would, I did have an opportunity to open up for them through a Lighter Shaded Brown, which is a group in Tucson, and then LL Cool J as a backup dancer.
Yeah.
So
that's nuts.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Cool.
So, I mean, exactly what, really cool, by the way. It's cool to see that evolution. We've interviewed a lot of cool people, listened to thousands or tens of thousands of podcasts myself. And that's the one thing, I've learned, right, is it, look, you don't have success without failure, without hardship, right, without the test of life. We have it, you have it, right, and it's inspiring to people because you don't realize that until say hindsight's 2020, right? So looking backwards, like, oh wow, that's why it all worked out the way it did. But people that are watching and listening, that might be going through a hard time, because it's a little harder in the moment to be like,
absolutely,
oh, this is a good thing. No, in the moment it feels like a really shitty thing.
I cried for days,
regardless of what it is, And so, always like to provide that inspiration to people, right? To 100%. Let them know, hey, look, you're going through a hard time. There's a reason. There's a reason for the season. Yep. You know what I mean? And it all makes sense if you just stick in there. You can't quit. You can't give up. You got to keep going. Have that grit, tenacity, and the resilience. You know what I mean?
Just trust.
Yeah.
There's always a reason. You meet everyone for a reason.
Yep.
And then at that time too, I mean, I'm older than you guys. So, I mean, I know I don't look it, but
not at all.
But at that time, like, it was hard. I had a strong ass fucking accent. Like, I didn't care though. So I'd go to lunch, like at the lunch breaks. First of all, I chose my high school because the where we lived, I didn't like the high school. I said I wanted to see more color, so I would bus myself to a further high school just so I could see that color. Well, anyway, I would see Asians sit in one table, and they would look at me like, why aren't you sitting here? And I'm looking at them like, why aren't you sitting here?
Yeah.
And at lunch break, I was known as the disruptor. So I would do dance battles. I was friends with everyone it didn't really matter to me. I guess I didn't see that, like, because I'm not from here.
Sure.
So I just saw like, okay, I like you.
Yeah.
I don't care what you are.
Yeah.
So I was friends with
It's
everyone.
people.
I did cheer. I did step. Like, I was in the step team. I was the only Asian girl. Every girl was black. Cheerleading was all white, but I was in that. You know what I mean? So I guess like I always surrounded myself with people that I had fun with.
Yeah.
And I tried to pull them out. That time frame, it was like they looked at me like what's wrong with you?
Right.
Sit with the Asians, and I'm like, no,
For sure.
sit with me.
So there's an old saying out there: your network is your net worth, right? And we've all heard it. Everybody listening's heard it. I'm listening to you, go through your childhood and then, into adulthood and then into business and then obviously from what we've seen over the last several years, you're a really good networker, right? We said at the beginning of the show, we said, hey, Christina's a master networker. She networks with everybody. Sounds like you've always been that way. How important is that, do you think, to your success and the success of anybody for that matter,
I think that it's important to be who you are. That's key. I mean, we all have our high points, our low points, and we can develop stuff. But if you are 100% who you are, that's the key. And for me, people often ask me that question, and I really kind of don't understand the question because I'm just being myself.
Yep.
And through my life, that's always been just the answer is just be yourself. Be passionate because you can see that. You can't fake stuff. Let's talk about TikTok. Not everyone deserves to be on there. Mm-hmm. You guys are a natural all day long. I'll watch you, but you see like you're almost cringing because it's like that's not you. So you almost have to really be honest with yourself and find your truth, find who you are and excel in that and find ways to help other people because that fires you back. Like it will fuel you to be a better person every day.
Yeah. That's cool. I like that. That's awesome. You know, just golden nuggets for everybody watching and listening. I think Lewis said at the beginning of the episode that I normally say in the middle of the episode, which is probably now towards the end of the episode. Smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm if you haven't already. Please. But Lewis, what did you think, brother?
Yeah.
What do you think? What onions? What is there anything else we could peel back? You know, while we have Christina here, obviously we'll probably end up doing round 2 in a few months, 6 months, however long. But for the listeners, for the viewers, you know what I mean? For everybody, anything you're curious about?
I mean, you know, I'm really stuck on the City Vodka. You know what I mean? I really like that, and I really like that title too for a video like this. I love because it, I think there's a lot of people, and I just think of like City Vodka. I mean, yeah, it's vodka and it's City Vodka, but also like just a tangible product aspect of things, general, right? Like there's a lot of people out there that want to like start like, you know, wristbands. They want to, you know, a swimsuit company or, you know, whatever it is, right? Like things, you know, somebody made this elf, you know, and sold it to At Home, and we were the dumbasses that went and bought it.
yeah, for sure.
Right? You know, paid
quite
20, literally like $25 for that thing. I don't even.
Yep.
I mean, my grandma could have said this. You know, some beans in it.
It's a little bit of a, it's a little trip. The elf's a little, it's a, you know.
Yeah, it's a little throw off, but it's great. You know, somebody made this nutcracker, and somebody's goal was to just go out there and just, you know, make nutcrackers. Oh, there it is. Make nutcrackers, you know?
Yep.
What is your advice to just specifically those people, right? That want to go out there and create a product, go out there and create a service. Like what's something you just want to share with them that could help them go out there and have success?
I think I'm going to go back to the fact that even by you just doing all of that, your brain is wired a certain way. So it's yours and so is mine. So I think I want people to remember that we're all in a whole spectrum. So like, if this was like a stick, I talk with my hands, and you were built to be in the middle and you try to live left, but you're like right here, you're going to have tension. I just think like be you. Like I know for a fact you're authentic, and I know for a fact you're authentic. So I think in any given business, be authentic. So that means find something you can be passionate about. Otherwise, you will fail. You need to believe in what you're doing, and you need to believe beyond the business that you are capable of that. So I think like, for me, I really want to say, be you. Find what makes you happy, and then make sure that whatever it is that you embark on, it's going to make you happy long term. Because if we can talk for days, but if we dial down on every single subject, there is so much that can be done if you know, if you have the passion for it. You know, I mean, agree. When I come back here, you're going to have your, you know, clothing line. You're going to have your whiskey. You're going to have your cigar. I won't come back here until it's done.
I like it.
Done
deal.
So, just be you. Find that you.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Proud of it.
Super valuable, you know, and you're right. We could go forever. We could go for days and days and days. We could be like Joe Rogan, talk about aliens. We could talk about the election. We could talk about relationships. You know what I mean?
Oh, don't get me started.
Austin Lewis could give us some relationship advice. And we can really dive into it deep, but we'll save that for round 2.
Yeah, I like
you know
that.
what I mean? Because then by that time we're gonna have to have the cigar.
We'll drink your City Vodka. You'll drink our whiskey.
Yeah, maybe we do like a tasting deal or something. Yeah. Blindfold us, and we'll just get drunk right here on the A&A Show.
Nothing will make me happier than to see the two of you realize everything you ever wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, you're helping so many people out here.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm here for, because I support you guys.
We appreciate that. We really do. We really do. And we appreciate you. You know, we appreciate you for making
constant motivation.
Difference. Constant motivation. Constant. Honestly, like even like all the DMs and stuff. I just love the optimism. You know, there's a lot of people, man, that are pessimists, and they're always looking at the negative, and it's cool. I always get a DM from her. You do too, right? And it's like, oh, I know she's going. It's something good, right?
Something good. Open
it's something good. She never DM us and tell us something bad.
Yeah, no.
So
you know?
Justin was like, "Hey, what do you want to talk about?" I was like, "I want to talk about the DMs. How positive DMs change lives.
They do.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it's an 8-hour day today, and it probably helps someone get a new house because they have a criminal background, find a place for them. You know, someone came out of jail today, and I had to find them a job. That got done. You know, a dog bit something. I had someone else, and it had to get put down. I mean, it's everything. And I'm not saying like that's what I think that's the biggest thing is you can't be everything to everyone. But if you're 100% real and you can tell what you're good at, and if you develop that, you can be of service to other people. There's nothing wrong with making money doing what you love. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
For sure.
So, and that's what you're great at.
100%.
You know, you're 1,000% authentic to yourself when you're giving back to other people, being optimistic, being the light in your friend group. I can imagine, right? Like, 100%.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree?
No question.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Beautiful.
So I'm in charge of the A&A party.
'Kay.
We're gonna have a party. Chris, you're listening, right?
Yep.
Tell
Chris is
Justin.
listening.
When they have their first official A&A motherfucking gala, I'm in charge.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh, gala. See, I got a couple.
$200 a ticket.
There's a couple other ladies in the office. Mars has mentioned a gala. I don't know if you've had anybody mention it to you, but I've heard. I keep hearing this term come up.
Yeah, gala.
You know, and I didn't grow up in New York City or anything, which I feel like there's not a lot of that in Arizona. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like gala, like I don't know, maybe, but we should do it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And if anyone you guys come across that need anything at all, and I can't tell you what, just anything. If they need anything, please text me.
Yeah, I love it. Well, you just told us what you're good at. You know, if we go to jail, you'll help us find a job. So I now know who to call.
If our dog
if my dog is something happens there, then I call you, right?
Yep.
And so there's a lot of things.
If you need an 800-person party, call you.
That's right. If you
need alcohol, call you.
There's not a whole lot that I can think of really at this point. That
if I get an injury.
Exactly. Yeah, we get in a car wreck.
So Christina motherfucking Laguna is the plug and the source.
And all her information is going to be down below.
Yes.
So if you're watching on YouTube, anywhere really, Spotify, iTunes, podcast, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, whatever, link in the description below. That's right. Yeah.
That's right.
Links in the description below. DM her, let her know where you came from. We'd really appreciate it. So she can, she'll hit us up, be like, oh my gosh, it'd be a ton of fun.
Blast.
Ton of fun. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Christina.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm proud of you guys.
Yes,
thank you again. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Deuces.
Boom.
It's a wrap.
Well done. So crazy.